I was almost going to say welcome to another two-wheeled segment of Jay's garage, but this is not a two-wheel segment. This is a three-wheel segment. But the cool thing is it's a three-wheeler that runs like a two-wheeler. You know, I'm not quite sure where this fits in. We could put it in the green garage section because it gets really good gas mileage. It's a scooter, but it's not really wimpy looking like a scooter, and it handles like a motorcycle. This is the Piaggio MP3, made in Italy. Really a fun, fantastic vehicle to drive. We're featuring here today because it incorporates some new technology, and I know the people that come to this website like new and interesting technology. This is Gary from Piaggio. Gary, say your last name again for me.
Petruski.
Petruski,
yeah,
Gary
Jay.
Petruski. Fine Polish name. Now, I have to admit, I'm fascinated by this. It's a lot of fun. You know, we're not snobs here. We like big Harleys, and we like all kinds of motorcycles and racing motorcycles. And I've always been a fan of scooters, from the early Vespas.
Yeah, right.
You know, the old the click, click, click on the hand grip. This, of course, fully automatic.
Exactly. It's just a twist and go transmission. So you actually have an infinite number of gear settings. You can go on gear ratios.
Now, is this what they call a Cvt transmission?
Exactly. Continuously variable transmission.
Now, what that means, if you don't understand what that means, imagine a cone. And if you have a leather belt or a belt at the top of the cone, and it's spinning, as it slides down the cone, you lose power, but you gain speed. And that's what a variable transmission does.
Jay.
As the belt would slide up or down, it gets near the top, makes a lot of power at low speed, and then as the end of the cone obviously spinning faster, you get more power for high speed. If you've ever driven an old Buick from the late 50s with the Dynaflow transmission, that was almost the same type. Never ever shift, just continually pulling. That's what makes it a smooth vehicle to run. Now, this is made by Piaggio, which owns Vespa.
Correctly. Piaggio is an Italian company. We actually market and sell 4 brands here in the U.S. We have Vespa scooters, we have the Piaggio scooters, and then I do Aprilia scooters and motorcycles, and then the Moto Guzzi, which is more a historical, iconic motorcycle brand.
Now, $4 a gallon gas is probably the best thing that ever happened to you guys, isn't it?
It's been a very good year for us.
Yeah,
but you know, it's not just the gas thing, Jay. It's also congestion, environmental issues, you know, parking problems in major cities like New York.
I mean, I've never quite understand why people drag around 4,000 pounds with one person in it. You can drag around a couple of 100 pounds and save yourself some gas and have fun, too. The interesting thing that I like about this, and I think it will appeal to people who are not necessarily motorcycle or motor scooter people, is it won't tip over.
Yeah, you caught on the trick thing to it. You're exactly right.
That's really because I know a lot of people, they get on a slippery surface and oh my gosh, they're doing this and they're sliding around. And of course, with 3 wheels, you're less likely to, if you hit a pothole, to be knocked off course.
Exactly right. Fully independent suspension. It actually has a wheel travel. You can go 4 inches up or down. So if you do hit that pothole, say in New York City, driving around any major city, you're very stable on the bike.
Let's show people. Let's walk around the bike. See it from the front. Now it has a grill, so obviously that says to me it's a water-cooled motor?
Yeah, it's a liquid-cooled engine, right?
Okay. It's liquid or water?
Liquid.
So it uses its own coolant?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a 4-stroke engine, so you don't have to mix oil and gas like you do on the 2 strokes. Electronic ignition, so you don't have to kind of step on it to kind of get it going. And the suspension, again, I come back to that 3-wheel thing. That's the really cool thing, but it's got a lean angle of 40 degrees on it.
Right.
So even though you're leaning going through the corners, you still have both tire patches going, and that means one thing, and that's safety. But you can actually stop on this bike because it has disc brakes on all 3 wheels, 20% faster than you can stop on a normal scooter.
Okay. On a normal bike where you might lock up the wheel, here you've got 1 extra tire providing more traction for stopping. I mean, let's face it, the only thing between you and the road is the tire. If you only got that much tire and you jam on the brake, you're more likely to slide or skid. With an extra tire, it gives you that much more width.
Gets 60 miles per gallon, and yet it still does about 80 miles per hour you can get out of it.
Now your gasoline goes where, right here?
Exactly, the fuel tank, and then we have, underneath the seat, we have full storage.
Okay, there you go.
So you have up to 15.2 gallon storage capacity. You've got an area for an open-faced helmet, not necessarily full-faced helmet.
Okay, and this here, your helmet can go here, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and then you got another storage area back here. And you also have a kickstand in case you need to change the tire.
If you want to do the kickstand and also a parking brake. Even though your wheels are locked and they won't tilt, it'll prevent them from rolling.
Well, let's show people how this suspension works. Okay, you're on the bike, you release the handbrake. Okay, now my wheels are locked.
Yep.
I turn it on.
And then this light right here will tell you if you're going slow enough to activate the locking system.
Okay.
If you're doing 9 miles
So
per
I
hour
unlock
or less.
it. Okay, there. Now
exactly.
I can do that. Okay.
Now you can do the tilt.
So, I mean, look at your lean angle you can get. We'll take it out on the road and show you, but I mean, you can lean it that far. I mean, it's really like a combination motor scooter, motorcycle. And you got all kinds of neat little features here. You got a hook here. You can hang your helmet and do other things. And when you park it, you hit the button. You just get up
Exactly.
and walk away from it. And then you set the parking brake, of course, yeah. If you got a spouse that's going, no, you're not getting a two-wheeler, they're too dangerous. But honey, look, it's got 3 wheels, it's perfectly safe. And it's a lot of fun. It's great for commuters, it's great for the city. Plus you can really take it out on windy roads and throw it around. In fact, let's take it for a ride, see what she does. It's an odd sensation, not shifting. You just open the throttle and the revs just continue to climb. The brakes are really fantastic because you get a third more braking. I don't feel like putting my feet down, so I don't have to. You know, if you put somebody on this thing, you didn't tell them it was a 3-wheeler, and they didn't notice when they got on, you wouldn't know it. Here's the cool part, it's freeway legal. Now most scooters you can't take on the freeway, but this is a 250. So you got the power of a 250 motorcycle. And you can beat the Mercedes that's taping you. As you can see, you can do figure 8s with this thing without ever touching your foot down. See, as you pull up to a stoplight, you don't even have to put your feet down. You can get off and walk away. Just set the handbrake, and you're all set. And then when you want to pull away, just open the throttle and you go. See that? Not all the cool stuff comes out of Japan. See you next week.